Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Board Games Unlocked, and today I'm doing a no-run-through review for Storm, one of the newest heroes for Marvel Champions. I realize every time I keep saying that, it becomes extremely dated, because by the time someone could watch this, Fantasy Flight has probably released 15 heroes by then. Yeah, so Storm is one of the, obviously, X-Men in their new X-Men kind of lineup that they're doing. Previously, they have done Cyclops and Phoenix, and now Storm and Wolverine. And all of these heroes I go into pretty much knowing nothing about them. Like, I don't look up cards, I don't look up how they play or anything like that, so it's always a surprise whenever I give them a test shot. And had I known what Storm was about, I would have been like, oh, it's a guaranteed like, because Storm utilizes a separate deck, and all of the heroes in Marvel Champions that utilize their own kind of side deck, I've loved. And it's also been other games like Aeon's End, where characters who have their own side deck, I just end up liking. And Storm is no exception. I think that she is extremely awesome to play, very thematic, super dynamic. And as these heroes are coming out, I'm starting to realize that the ones that I tend to enjoy the most are the ones that can adapt based off how the game is going. And that's exactly what Storm is able to do. But that is also not to say that she's like gonna steamroll anyone, but because she has to adapt, that allows her to, one, be very good, but if she doesn't get the cards that she needs, then she's kind of floundering. And I found that kind of dynamic of her character is very interesting to play. A lot, because some of the characters, I wish they would start doing like ratings on difficulty, but maybe that's subjective, because you could easily be like, oh, well, the pre-con deck sucks, but I built it this way, made it way easier. So maybe that's why they don't. But let's go ahead and look through some of her cards. Not a whole lot to pull through. Like, some characters I feel like I have their whole deck that I'm like, okay, here's all the cards I need to talk about. But hers are pretty straightforward. So Aurora Monroe, which I did not know was her name, has really nothing in terms of an alter ego ability. It's just that she begins the game with her weather deck, which is Clear Skies, Blizzard, Blizzard, Hurricane, and Thunderstorm. So it's just a 4-card deck. So she begins with that. It calls it the deck. I think it even in the insert says to shuffle it, but I don't think that really matters. And I feel a storm coming. Setup, you choose a support from the weather deck and put it into play. So she starts with weather already in. And each of these has the permanent keyword, meaning it can't basically be affected with in any way. And they have a passive ability that affects every character in play, which I found that also interesting. And then a special that her hero ability can affect. So let's go ahead and look through these. So Thunderstorm, a permanent, is each character gets +1 attack. So character meaning hero and enemy and allies, I believe. So everyone in the Thunderstorm deals 1 more damage, which is very good for everyone playing, but also bad if there's a lot of minions in play. And then the special is deal 2 damage to an enemy. Then you have Hurricane. Each character gets retaliate 1. Yeah! Boo when you're attacking someone. And special, remove 2 threat from a scheme. Oops, I dropped it. Blizzard is each character gets -1 attack, so it makes everyone a little bit weaker. And special, choose a non-elite minion until the end of the round. Treat that minion's text box as if it were blank, except for traits. And then Clear Skies. Each character gains Stalwart. Stalwart is you can't be confused or stunned. And the special is draw a card. So basically you pick one of those and you get to start with. So those are the four weather cards that you can manipulate. And then we flip her to her hero side, where she becomes Storm. 1 thwart, 2 attack, 1 defense. Nothing too great about that. I should also mention she has 10 health and 6 hand size on alter ego, 5 hand size on hero. But yeah, her stats are kind of just ass. Like, they're really bad. But it actually never really came into play, like, in terms of like, oh man, they're super weak, I can't do anything, because her cards are super powerful. But she has weather control. As an action, you can swap your weather support in play with a support of your choice from the weather deck. Resolve the special ability on your weather support in play. Now that's both good and bad because based off the way that that is read, you can't keep using the special ability of of the weather card that is in play because it sounds like, okay, you have to swap it, then you resolve it, and it doesn't say you may swap. So if you wanted to keep drawing with like Clear Skies, for example, you can only do that whenever you bring Clear Skies into play, unless something else is saying otherwise, but that's the way I have been playing her, is that way. So it's like, if you really like the ability of one, like the special ability, like I do, of drawing cards, well, you can do that. There are multiple ways for you to constantly be shifting the weather to be able to get Clear Skies out multiple times, but you just can't, like, get 4 cards in your hand all at once. So, and how do you manipulate the weather? Well, she has a card called Weather Goddess. She has a few cards in here called Weather Goddess. As a hero action, cost 0. You basically do her ability again. Swap your weather support and play with a support of your choice from the weather deck. Resolve the special ability of the weather card in play. So it's her ability, whereas her ability is one-time play. There are a few weather goddesses to where you can get that out. So how many are in here? 1, 2, most likely 3. Yeah, so there's 3 in your in your deck, so you can really start messing with stuff if you want to just utilize special abilities of the Storm cards. So let's see. So she has, like I said, multiple cards that are affected by the what weather is in play, and this was very handy whenever you were trying to do like a lot of damage or remove a lot of threat with these cards. So, for example, you have Lightning Bolt. So Lightning Bolt is her massive, big damage, deal 8 damage to an enemy. And then if Thunderstorm is in play, resolve its special ability. Well, Thunderstorm's special ability is deal 2 damage to an enemy. But what's nice about this is the 8 damage can go to one enemy and the 2 can go to somewhere else, or you can combine them and obviously do 10 damage to someone. Or, yeah, because it looks like it's in this order. I was going to say, or you can do 2 damage to remove a tough status card, then deal the 8. But I think you have to do the text from top to bottom. Now that I think about it, I don't know if it's ever said that you have to do it that way or if you have control over where it goes. But anyway, 10 damage overall based off of Lightning Bolt, so that's one of the cards that gets buffed based off the weather. Then there is Flash Freeze, which is one that basically makes everyone super weak. This one goes hand in hand with Blizzard, and Blizzard, if you remember, makes everyone weak at -1 attack. So this one is a defense. It's a hero interrupt. When the villain attacks you, the villain and each minion engaged with you get -3 attack while attacking you this phase, and then you get to do the special ability of Blizzard, which you choose a non-elite minion and blank out their text. So I like how this one is super cheap because she, like I said, she doesn't have a lot of defense, basically none. And if you can flash freeze everyone through a blizzard, that allows you to basically take no damage. So that's awesome. Then you have cards like Torrential Rain. This one goes hand in hand with Hurricane. And Hurricane gives everyone Retaliate, but the special is removing 2 threat from a scheme. The Torrential Rain, you remove 3 threat from among schemes in play, and then you get to remove 2 threat from a scheme. So, like I said, massive damage. There's your threat removal. There's your defense. And then she has a few more that don't go in, don't go with these. Like, nothing specifies Clear Skies, because, I mean, it's clear skies. There's no weather. I mean, I guess it is weather in and of itself, but anyway, you know what I mean. She has one called Blast of Wind. Choose a player, deal 3 damage to the villain and each minion engaged with that player. Then you resolve the special ability of your weather support. So that can go really good with really any of them. If you want to do Blast of Wind and do 3 damage as an AoE and then draw a card because Clear Skies is in play, or remove 2 threat. You just have a lot of combos with that. It's like, oh, okay, I don't need to do a lot of damage this round, so I'll use my special ability, bring out Hurricane, and then do Blast of Wind, kind of kill a bunch of minions, and then, remove 2 threat. I think that that's really cool. She has a few upgrades. One of them is not like super exciting. It's just kind of a basic, but it's Endurance. Endurance just gives you +3 hit points. And there are a few cards that are actually kind of like that. Maybe not that one. Where, because she doesn't have a lot of defense, you can buff her health, which is nice because having more health is kind of the same. It's longevity. Let's see. Where are you? That increases ally limit. And, well, there's one that increases the health of your allies, and that's the X-Men Mansion. So Endurance increases your hit points, making it go from 10 to 13. And then the X-Men Mansion is you heal 1 damage from a mutant or X-Men character. Any player whose alter ego has the mutant trait may trigger this ability. So there's just ways for her to increase her health and heal without having to exhaust herself to do it, which is very nice. Like, where are you? Or like her garden. So Aurora's garden, alter ego action, exhaust this garden to heal 2 damage from her identity, which is not bad considering the fact that she only has 3 recovery. But if you really needed to, you could go in and heal for 5, which is good. So yeah. And then some of her upgrades are Storm's Cape. Yay, her cape. She gets +1 defense, which is nice. It goes up from 2. That warrants a little bit more of actually exhausting her to defend. And gives her the aerial trait, which does nothing in her deck. But she has a response after resolve the special ability on your weather support. You exhaust Storm's Cape and you can ready her, which is very handy if you do want to kind of attack with her for 2 damage or thwart. You can then use her ability and then, or not her ability, you resolve the special ability of the weather card and then ready her. And then Storm's Crown, which gives her +1 thwart, and you can exhaust Storm's Crown to generate the printed resource on your weather support, which for the most part doesn't do a whole lot, but some cards do require specific resources. And speaking of that, with Storm's Crown, there is another card that is basic, but can help generate a ton of resources. So like the X-Jet. The X-Jet is you exhaust it to generate a wild resource for a player whose identity has the X-Men trait, which she does. So with Storm's Crown and the X-Jet, you could get 2 wild resources out. And that makes things like Lightning Bolt only cost 1, which is huge. And then, because she is X-Men, she does have a leadership card. Her deck is primarily leadership, which is, to me, my X-Men. And you can only play it if you have an X-Men trait. But you search the top 5 cards of your deck for an ally, if there is one, which in this just happens to open like this. These 5 cards don't have one. But if you do pull an ally, then it actually comes into your hand. Or not into your hand, it goes into play. Which a free ally is always awesome. Especially if you can get, like, Gentle, which is very helpful. Like, Gentle is, he takes +1 consequential damage after he attacks the villain, but he hits for 3. So, and he costs 3. So if you can do To Me, My X-Men, and then bring out Gentle, that's just a free 3 damage, which is very, very handy. And he doesn't even die with that. He just, like, will take 2 damage. Only if he attacks the villain, so he can become very helpful if you're attacking minions. I just really like the fact that she basically has an answer for anything. Oh, you need to do damage and thwart? Okay, well, do that. Like, play Blast of Wind, do some damage and remove some thwart. Oh, you need to quickly take no damage because you have like 1 HP left and you can't go to Alter Ego form to heal. We'll Flash Freeze everyone, then go to Alter Ego form on your next turn and heal 5 with her Garden and her Recovery. Oh, you just need to one-shot the villain? Okay, well, Lightning Bolt and in the Thunderstorm. I think she's super awesome. Now, like I said, she needs all these cards to do it. She is unable to do all that based off anything that she just innately has. And so if you burn your hand of like lightning bolts, like I played a game against the new scenario, Mojo, yeah, and like I like burned my lightning bolt cards almost immediately, and after that it was kind of difficult for me to start dealing damage. Like, yeah, I was doing fantastic. I like it was like the first scenario in Mojo's Mania, and it's like, oh yeah, I'm doing amazing. Oh no, they're starting to come back, and I started having to get allies into play to do a lot of it for me. And I think that's why she's leadership, because then she can use allies to deal damage where she no longer can. But you could also still do piddly damage, which is not nothing in a game like this, of constantly changing the weather and having lightning bolt zap, if you're talking about damage, like specifically. So, still, I think that she is extremely powerful. Like 10 damage off the bat is like basically almost always over half the health of any villain you're going against. And so, let's see what I'm able to come up with in terms of overall damage for her. So let's say we're gonna have to do Thunderstorm, because that's gonna be the first one that's out. And she can have a hand limit of 6. Let's do 7 and say Clear Skies. Yeah, so actually it'll be Clear Skies. Clear Skies is the first one that is out. So, was able to draw a card there. So I will have 7 cards. So Lightning Bolt is going to be 1. That's going to cost a bunch. Let's also say that the X-Jet and her Crown have been out because they're upgrades and supports. And let's do Storm's Cape. So let's say she has all these out for her. And now I get my 7 cards. Gonna need Weather Goddess, most likely. Just for shits, let's also say Gentle is out, because, you know, just because it's fun. Let's see. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Yeah. So, I got 2 Lightning Bolts, my 3 Weather Goddesses, and then a Strength and a Genius. So those are the cards that I think might be the best. And again, if you haven't seen any of my previous reviews for these characters, I always try and just do off the top of my head max damage. Just because that sounds fun. And, alright. So, first things first, we are going to do Weather Goddess. So Weather Goddess gets played, and that will allow me to swap to Thunderstorm. So Thunderstorm allows you to give her +1 attack, so that will, and I get to do special abilities, so we're at 2 damage to the enemy. Then I will play Strength and exhaust her Crown. That's going to give her 3, so then I will do Lightning Bolt, and that will do another 8 damage, so I'm at 10 damage. Then I do the special ability of that to do 2 more damage, so I'm at 12. Let's actually do something. So I would attack with Storm, so that's going to be 12. That'll be 15 because of the +1 attack, and after doing that +2 from the Lightning Bolt, I will exhaust Storm's Cape to ready her. So I'm at 15 damage. Then we are going to do Weather Goddess again and go into Clear Skies, which allows me to draw a card. So let's see, is there anything that could be helpful? Maybe I'll take to me my X-Men. So yeah, because that would let me draw a card. Then I will play Weather Goddess again to go back. It's just like everyone's just getting sick and just being zapped by lightning. So then we go back to Thunderstorm. doing 2 damage, so 15 to 17. 17, then we will do Genius and the X-Jet to then play Lightning Bolt again for another 10, because it's 8 plus 10, so 17, so 27 damage. 27 damage. Then we will swap, use her ability to swap it, so then it goes back to Clear Skies, allowing me to draw a card. And let's say, perfect case scenario, I draw, I don't think, I could draw into, no, yeah, I'm not sure, how many allies does she have? Okay, so let's do, oh, it's not going to matter, I'm going to have to do To Me, My X-Men, and I'm going to have to play To Me, My X-Men to play To Me, My X-Men. So I'm at 27 total damage. And then let's say I draw my 5 cards, and that brings out Sexy Havoc, because he's pretty cool. So now, 27, attack with Gentle goes to 30. And then Havoc, his ally ability is whenever he attacks, he discards the top card of the encounter deck, and he basically gets the boost icons, but he also takes consequential damage. So I'm at 30 damage. If I attack with Havoc and I happen to draw 3 boosts, that would be 5 damage, and he would die. That would be 3 damage for him. So 35 total damage if you perfected and played everything correctly, which you should be doing every single time. This should be always easy to do. And yeah, I mean, 35 damage is insane, and that is a lot of card combos and, of course, perfect draws and stuff like that, but I just think that's really cool. And that's just, of course, for sheer damage. Like, with everything I did of the combos of swapping, you know, weather, you could remove threat, you could weaken someone, you could give everyone retaliate, and just things like that, which I think is awesome. So, on a scale of 1 to 10, what do I give Storm? I'm going to give her a 9. I think that she is fantastic. I think that she is just so versatile, which is one of my favorite ways to play this game. Not a perfect 10 like some others, because I think she has a slight ability to kind of be like, oh, I can't do thunder anymore, or I can't do damage, or I can't do threat. Help me. But, I mean, it's very small. Like, if that does happen, you do have ways of getting around it, which I like. And she has some card draw. Like, I was never really wanting for cards. I had ways around it, so I think that she is extremely balanced. But that's the other one. That's my thoughts on Storm. Let me know what you think of the hero in the comments below. Other than that, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have a wonderful whatever time of day it is for you. Hey everyone, thank you for watching, and I really hope that you enjoyed the video. If you would like to see more of my content, go ahead and click that subscribe button and the bell to be notified whenever I upload any new content. If you feel like supporting the channel, you can go ahead and click that Patreon link to be taken to my Patreon, and any help is truly appreciated. Other than that, stick around for any other run-throughs or reviews or cool top 10s or whatever I feel like putting on. Other than that, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have a wonderful whatever time of day it is for you.